Hello everyone, this is Inayat Mir with my section 1 video 4 where we will talk about certificate services. We will install a standalone root CA and we will discuss about configuration of Active Directory, playing around with Active Directory in this topic 4. Mostly we will talk about a certificate services installation. First we will install root CA and then we will install a subordinate CA. But before, let's move on to our ny1.com domain. This is our new Active Directory. We are going to view some users. I am going to create a test user. We will discuss about that user, attributes, properties, values. User itself is an object which we are creating under ny1.com domain. This is the way you create a new user and give them a logon name. This is up to you how you're gonna deal with the password. You can have them expired or you can leave it alone with default settings. So we have now a new user available under ny1.com domain. If user is not visible, just make sure that under which location you created that user, or if you refresh it, it will be available right away. Under user properties, you will see these tabs are attributes. Under attributes, you have values. If you want to see when this user was created, you have to enable advanced options from view. Then you're gonna see under object tab the date of user creation or modified date, which is a 10/23/2016 on this user. You also can look at other objects. You want to create a new object, you can create under any container. This is a New York OU. OU stands for organizational unit for partial admin delegation or some group policy purposes where you can move your groups and users, and then you can set up a group policy for that OU. For example, if you want to give Office 2016 to New York users, first you have to populate this OU with a couple of hundred or thousand or number of users. Then you can deploy Office 2016 to this OU only. Under this OU, everybody will be able to get Office 2016. You can create a user as a template and copy a user that will be exactly same copy of those membership except certain attributes, but you could save a lot of time by using this method to use a copy option. I am moving back into my new server which is in a work group. I want to keep this server in a work group, standalone root CA. You can simply from the dashboard use add remove roles and features. SA underscore root CA means standalone root CA. You are adding a certificate services on this server along all required features. We usually have this server offline. Once it is provisioned, we take them offline. Currently, I'm adding only certificate authority because I'm not issuing any web enrollment features from this server because it is not required. So now I installed my certificate server services on this computer. You can look at this flag where you can go ahead and configure. The way you add your binaries for Active Directory, then you configure it. The same way you are now configuring your standalone root CA. This is your standalone root CA, which will be issuing a certificate to your subordinate CA or to your issuing CA, which will be my DC. I'm going to use key length, the highest numbers 4096, and for certificate name, it is your choice, whatever name you want to choose for the certificate server. This will be a root CA, so names should be very familiar and should include root CA. So I'm using my domain name, first two letters, ny_root CA. At the bottom row, you see my distinguished name of the root CA. By default, you will see 5 years. I would suggest that root CA should be about 20 years, or you can set up a policy.inf file under Windows. You can actually add the duration in that file. That we will discuss later on. Now we have root CA available, which is a standalone. You should be able to go into the certificate authority from tools, and keep in mind this is a standalone root CA, not an issuing CA, not a domain member. So you're not gonna see here any kind of templates on this window. I'm going back to my ny1.com domain using add and remove roles and features, adding Active Directory certificate services with all required additional features, the same way we installed on our standalone root CA. And this is my issuing CA at this time. So I'm adding my web enrollment as well. This certificate server will contain templates. So now I have an issuing CA and I have a standalone root CA, which will be technically offline after issuing a certificate to my issuing CA. And you are looking at the features what I have installed on this root CA. Once you configure this server, you are ready to rock, issue certificates to your clients. Then you can configure template of the certificates, set up duration. I'm now configuring my certificate authority and my certificate authority web enrollment on my this issuing subordinate CA. This is not a root CA, so because we do have a root CA, but this is my enterprise subordinate CA, which will be issuing CA. You could have one or more than one issuing CAs in the environment if you are issuing internal certificates to your clients. Again, same location we have. Key length you can increase or decrease. I would say 4096 is the highest key length encryption, so you can use that one. This is your common name. I'm adding issuing CA with my domain name, so in this way it will be easy for me to remember. Now this is a request file, certificate request file, which will be used later on when we're gonna issue certificate to this server. We will request a certificate to our standalone root CA, but not in this video, but that will be a part of the certificate receiving. So now this is a confirmation page where you see you have your root CA, and now you have on this server subordinate CA on my DC available. So the rest is now just to refresh it. Everything will be available under tools, and now we are ready to move on actually with this environment. So I hope you like this video. I will see you in my section 2 videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.